When we are little, we don't think much about our bodies. We run around naked, we feel the sunlight cover every inch of our skin, and we don't think twice about skinny dipping. Around the time we reach middle school, we are hit with the quick changes and realities of puberty as we become more aware of ourselves growing and evolving. This is the first time I remember feeling that my body was something more, something to be looked at in a different way, and not only by me. This was the time when I remember feeling the pressures and expectations of body image. Looking at my peers and wishing I looked more like them. Buying beauty magazines and reading about what was beautiful and sexy and appealing. Filling my head with empty promises. To look like this, you must do this. To be seen like this, you should try this. All of this information came rushing in all at once. It flooded my perception and consumed the conversation around me. I always looked up to my older sister. We were inseparable growing up, but this reality hit her harder than most. She did everything she read about in those magazines and became enveloped in those empty promises with a motivation and determination that I wanted but didn't possess. Looking at her slender, tall body, I asked her why I didn't look like her if we were sisters. And she promised me that when I have my growth spurt and lengthen out, all of the baby fat will disappear. We worked out together, and I remember thinking, I want to be as strong as her, and as beautiful and as confident as her. I want all of her clothes and her hair and her makeup, and I want people to look at me like they look at her. As we grew older, we grew further apart, and her obsession consumed her day-to-day life. I watched her win every track meet and every cross-country race, and I remember thinking, she is doing so well, she is so talented. But I didn't see what I didn't want to see. What she was hiding from us the whole time. She was never home for dinner, and when she was never hungry. We didn't talk like we used to, and she didn't like changing in front of me, even though we were sisters. I thought we didn't hide anything from each other. On March 12th, 2013, my sister was hospitalized for malnourishment, having fallen into a downward spiral of anorexia and suicidal ideation. Seeing my role model and the strongest person I knew go through what she did shattered my world. I felt sad and hurt and confused and then angry, so angry. Angry at the people who made her feel this way and the things that made her do this to herself. We are told to look like this and act like that, and shown pictures of what we are supposed to look like to be seen as beautiful. It felt disgusting and cruel to come to this realization. I understood at that moment that if these expectations, placed so carefully on our bodies and our minds, can leave the strongest person I know in the state my sister had fallen into, I don't want anything to do with it. Unfortunately, though, it is not up to me. No matter where we look, we are surrounded by these expectations and unattainable fabricated constructions of beauty. Growing up in Marin County, this seemed especially prevalent. It is estimated that Marin has around twice the amount of eating disorder cases than the national average, and many factors that can lead to eating disorders exist in this county. In such an affluent and educated area, children grow up feeling the pressures of success and a perfectionist lifestyle that foster the desire to fit into a culture that consists of unhealthy and unattainable habits. When someone approaches the desire to be healthy and fit with the perfectionist mindset, it can often develop into an obsessive, unhealthy mentality and evolve into an eating disorder. I think that this reality, combined with the growing involvement of social media and cyberbullying, makes it extremely difficult to construct positive ideas around body image from a young age. And this is not just in Marin County. We live in a fat-phobic society that equates skinniness with beauty and pushes unrealistic body standards on children that haven't even reached puberty. It is a problem that has always existed and is escalated with the powerful grasp that social media platforms such as TikTok and Instagram have on a society, and specifically on younger generations. I watch my little sister scrolling through videos of her peers and girls her age that make her think she should look like this or act like that. It is challenging enough to get to a place where we are confident in ourselves and in our own bodies on our own, let alone with the constant comparisons, triggers, body objectification, and unrealistic standards shoved in our faces every day. Back in 2013, when I went to visit my sister in the hospital for the first time, I saw the pain and struggle written across her face. I thought of all the things I didn't see and of all the ways I had failed her as a sister. I leaned over her delicate body and wrapped my arms around her in the softest hug, with tears streaming down my cheeks. It is moments like these, the ones closest to life and death, that remind me of what is important. It is impossible to shield the people you love from the toxicity of the world and the relentless standards that will fill our minds through societal expectations that place labels and worth on our bodies. But it is possible to be there to remind each other that we are enough, that no one can tell us how to look or how to act. We decide that for ourselves, and whatever we decide, whatever brings us the most happiness and allows us to shine the brightest, is right for us and for our bodies. We have been given beautiful bodies that work hard for us every day, that keep our hearts beating and our lungs breathing. We need to remind each other of these simple miracles and relearn how to love ourselves first.
Oh yeah.